Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Shatara Shata Sheesh Man Divine Grace Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Shatara Shata Sheesh Man Divine Grace Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Vimshika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai Shri Mayapura Dhama Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai Mathura Dhama Ki Jai Navadvipa Dhama Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samavita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hare Hare Bol Gloriously assembled devotees Hare Krishna Oh gloriously assembled devotees Hare Krishna Oh gloriously assembled devotees Hare Krishna Oh glorious to Shri Guru and Gauranga Oh glorious to Shri Guru and Gauranga Oh glorious to Shri Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Reading from, yeah, it's good, thank you. Reading from the Bhagavad-gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You can take this one also. Second chapter, text number 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
Padam gachanti anamayam. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi.
Karmajam buddhi yuktahi.
Phalam tyaktva manishanaha.
Phalam tyaktva manishinaha.
Janma bandha vinirmuktaha.
Janma karmam vinimukta.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
Padam gachanti anamayam. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi.
Karmajam buddhi
Yuktahi.
Phalam tyaktva manishinaha.
Phalam tyaktva manishanaha.
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Janma bandha vinirmuktaha.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
Padam gachanti anamayam.
Karmajam buddhi yuktahi.
Karmajam buddhi yuktahi.
Phalam tyaktva manishinaha.
Phalam tyaktva manishinaha.
Janma bandha vinirmukta.
Janmakan bandha vinirmukta.
Padam gachanti amamayam.
Padam gachanti anamayam. Karmajam,
Karmajam,
because of fruitive activities.
due to fruitive activities.
Buddhi yukta.
Buddhi yukta.
Sorry. Being done in devotional service.
Devotional service.
He certainly. Palam,
Phalam,
results.
results.
Tyaktva,
Tyaktva,
giving up.
giving up.
Manishina,
Manishana,
devotees who are great sages.
devotees who are great sages.
Janma bandha,
Janma bandha,
the bondage of birth and death.
the bondage of birth and death.
Vinirmukta,
Vinirmukta,
liberated souls.
liberated souls.
Padam,
Padam,
position.
position.
Gachanti,
Gachanti,
reach.
they reach.
Anamayam,
Anamayam,
without miseries.
without miseries.
Translation: the wise engaged in devotional service take refuge in the Lord and free themselves from the cycle of birth and death by renouncing the fruits of action in the material world. In this way, they can attain that state beyond all miseries. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The liberated living entities seek that place where there are no material miseries. The Bhagavatam says, Samashitaye padapalva palavam mad padam punyaya shumudari bhavam buddhir vatsa padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. For one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation, and is famous as Mukunda, or the giver of mukti, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a cow's hoofprint. Padam, or the place where there are no material miseries, or Vaikuntha, is his goal, not the place where there is danger in every step of life. Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that resultant actions will make them happy. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and disease, are present everywhere within the material world. But one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord, and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into the Vaikuntha planets, where there is neither material miserable life, nor the influence of time and death. To know one's constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord's position are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness and therefore unable to engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. He becomes a Lord himself and thus paves the way for the repetition of birth and death. But one who, understanding that his position is to serve, transfers himself to the service of the Lord at once becomes eligible for Vaikuntha Loka. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, or in plain words, devotional service to the Lord. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakriyam Chakshunanmiritam Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has opened my darkened eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
So we were discussing this topic of Karma Yoga. Krishna, first of all, he delineated the process of Sankhya Yoga, analyzing how the soul is placed in the body, how the soul is eternal, how the body is temporary, how we can, by very logical argument, prove the existence of the soul in the body. All these have been explained in the beginning of the second chapter. Then at one point, Krishna, he switched. He said, now I'm going to explain you the process of Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, sometimes they become all synonymous. Because karma means action. So Karma Yoga is yoga through action. Dedicate the results of your action to Krishna. That is Karma Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga also. It is action. It is not that we're inactive. Only the Mayavadis, they go to Brahma Jyoti and they remain in inactive position. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, a great devotee, associate of Lord Chaitanya, he said that for a devotee, for a bhakta, this impersonal liberation is as good as hell. As good as hell. Sometimes people say like that. They said, when we try to propagate Krishna consciousness, we say, why don't you enjoy eternally with Krishna? So they say, oh, eternity, oh, I don't want that. I want to die. If I simply contemplate that I will be forever eternal, oh, I become very disturbed because they think in a material term. They think that forever and ever you'll be working, getting a paycheck, paying your rent, shopping in Kmart or whatever, Tesco, getting the boga, and then passing stool, then chasing after a woman or a man chasing after, a woman chasing after a man, and all these inebriaties. So when we say, oh, you are eternal, they think in a material sense. That's why I don't want eternity. But a devotee, he understands that there are activities that are very pleasurable, activities that are performed in service to Krishna. Just like chanting, hearing, dancing, taking prasadam, right? These are very blissful activities. If they are, of course, performed according to the instruction of the spiritual master. Without the spiritual master, there's no question of any sort of bhakti. Bhakti is simply like a retard. You have a retarded persons, right? So then, if you do not accept the spiritual master, just like we have our guru, we're very proud, our Srila Prabhupada is a bona fide spiritual master, then your bhakti is like a retard. Retard, demented. There is some difficulty, right? So, these activities are very blissful because they give pleasure to Krishna. This is the art of enjoyment. If you want to enjoy, if you want to be the hedonist, if you want to be materialist, still you come to this Krishna consciousness movement and you will satisfy your desire. Because Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, eternal pleasure. How does it work? If we serve Krishna, because we're part and parcel of Krishna, we also enjoy. If we want to enjoy separately, directly, then no one enjoys. Not you, not your family, no one. Simply, we're just like stuck here in illusion, all of us, in this material world, and we think I'm enjoying, but no one is enjoying. We're struggling for enjoyment that doesn't exist. This is called material existence. Maya, everyone is in Maya. They're struggling for pleasure, they want to derive sense gratification, but they get nothing. As I explained yesterday, sense gratification is just like eating palatable dishes with a cloth on your tongue. You are a spirit soul. That's why you cannot be satisfied by sensual pleasures. That is impermanent and doesn't satisfy the soul. The soul is eternal. That's why the soul needs eternal pleasure. How does it get the eternal pleasure? In connection with Krishna, by serving Krishna. Just like if you water the root of a tree, automatically branches and leaves becomes nourished. So you are one of these branches. You are not the whole tree. You are not the roots. Krishna is the root. Krishna is the root and He's also the whole tree at the same time. Because we're His parts and parcels. If you water the root, automatically branches and leaves and twigs and fruits, everyone becomes nourished. You see, and if you directly want to water the branch, the water stays on the outside, doesn't go inside, it's useless, doesn't nourish the branch from within, doesn't nourish at all. This is sense gratification. You follow? The pleasure stays on the outside, doesn't go inside. You, as a soul, you don't enjoy it. It's simply because of our false identification with the body, ahankara. We think that, I am enjoying. Maya is so expert in tricking us. We think, because I identify with the body, that's why I think I'm enjoying. But in actuality, I don't enjoy anything. I can only enjoy with Krishna. Water the roots, automatically the water goes inside. Serve Krishna, automatically your soul will be satisfied. So these activities, chanting, dancing, hearing, serving, these are giving pleasure to the soul. And those who are very advanced devotees, they are able to exclusively engage in devotional service. Even to the extent that they give up eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These are basic necessities of life. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Even mating. Prabhupada says that mating is required. The sex must be satisfied. The body has a need for sex. It is natural. It's one of the bodily needs. But you can minimize. You can minimize. You can minimize eating. You can minimize up until the point of zero. Or as Srila Prabhupada says, zero. Make it zero. So, this is possible. The 6 Goswamis, they would meet together. They would discuss the Shastra. They would chant. They would hear. And they would simply forget about eating. It is mentioned that they would take a little buttermilk, a spoonful of buttermilk every second day. This was their diet. This was their prasadam. Can you imagine? And Prabhupada says that sometimes even that they forgot. They became so engaged in this because this is giving the nourishment to the soul. As I said before, the food doesn't give pleasure to the soul. It doesn't nourish you. The body is functioning because the soul is inside of the body. Not because you're eating the food. We're foolish. We think, I need food, I need this, I need that. No. When a person dies, give him a sandwich, make him alive again. If it's the food that nourishes the life in the body. Right? The food simply is for the body, but not for the soul. When the soul leaves the body, you cannot do anything. This is the fundamental understanding of spiritual life. You are not the body. You're not the body. You cannot be satisfied by the bodily pleasures. So, bhakti is not inactivity. It is full of activities. And that's why Prabodhananda Saraswati said, for a bhakta is impersonal mukti, impersonal sayuja mukti, impersonal liberation, merging with Brahman, is simply like a hell. because he cannot engage in any activity. A devotee wants to always engage in devotional service. It's like Srila Prabhupada said that these devotees, Govinda Dasi, they were telling Prabhupada, please kindly overburden us with service. We're not satisfied. We're not sleeping, we're not eating, we're simply serving. But we need more. We want more. See, this greed is required. Greed for service. Right now we're greedy for sense gratification. Even in the name of Krishna consciousness. We praying to Krishna, please give me this, give me that. This is not bhakti. A bhakta, even he's not praying for relief from miseries. Right? Anyone can say that, oh, well, if there's some misery, then I pray to God. Only God can save me. But great devotees, just such as Queen Kunti or Prahlad Maharaj, they were not even praying for relief from miseries. They were put in so much miseries. But their attitude is, why should I bother my Lord with my nonsense problems? This is the attitude of a pure devotee. He's simply serving. Krishna says it, those who serve me with love, I give them what they lack. I preserve what they have. In this way, Krishna takes care of them. So we should simply think like this. How to serve Krishna without any material expectation, without any material desire, without any botheration. We should not bother Krishna without nonsense desire. They're all nonsense. Because whatever desire you have, that is pertaining to the body. You can only satisfy your body up until the materialistic minds. But the soul is pleased by service to Krishna. As I said before, if you please Krishna, then automatically you become pleased. So, people don't understand this. Prabhupada says it very nicely. Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place, where there are dangers at every step. This is the root cause of our slacking in Krishna consciousness. If you slack in your sadhana, if you slack in preaching work, if you slack in reading, reading Srila Prabhupada's book is very important. If you cannot read, at least hear. If you cannot hear, then at least come and discuss in our live streams. That is also good. We're hearing Srila Prabhupada. We're discussing. Don't think that this is anything separate from reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Actually, it is even more beneficial if we associate with the devotees, if we discuss with the devotees, we can study the words of the spiritual master from different angles of vision, not dogmatic. Not that I speculate something, I make a conclusion, and then that conclusion is wrong, and I am carried away by my mind, thinking that I'm following very nicely Srila Prabhupada. In devotee association, we have the opportunity to express our realizations, ask questions, and make our study more effective. Actually, Lord Chaitanya said that this is the most powerful process to advance in Krishna consciousness. To study Krishna philosophy in the association of the devotees. It is so beneficial. So beneficial because in the association, our desires develop. So if you associate with rascals, you're opening the door to hellish worlds. And if you associate with devotees, you're opening the door to Vaikuntha very wide. Yes, let's go. So, but this is the problem. Because of ignorance, because of our attachment, because of so much brainwash that have been, exposed to in our materialistic society, we think that this material world is a very happy place. We should stay here, and we're planning out how to make many projects, varnashram and this and farm and temple and big movement but we're forgetting that this is just like a stool house. This is like a stool house. When you go to a toilet, you do your business, get out. You don't stay in a toilet, right? You don't make a toilet your office. You don't make it your office. You do your business, you get out. So yes, we have to preach and so on and so on. But at the same time, we should not forget the prayojan. What is the goal of this Krishna consciousness movement? Prabhupada says that I am going back home, back to Godhead. I am confident. So before it happens, I want to drag as many people, as many living entities as possible back home, back to Godhead with me. That's why Prabhupada called his magazine Back to Godhead. We're coming back to Godhead. This is the prayojan. We should never forget this. We can get carried away. This movement is not meant to, develop some kind of a utopian world in this horrible Madhya Loka. No, we do whatever is necessary. And when we plan out all these projects, it is for the benefit of those who are less advanced, who don't want to go back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada says there's very few people who want to go back home, back to Godhead. Very few people. They don't want to hear. That's also, Prabhupada says this in the Bhagavatam. The eagerness to hear Krishna Katha, this Krishna philosophy, what we're describing right now, the eagerness to hear, those who are eager, those who are staying in the live stream, those who go away, they're not eager. Those who stay, they have fulfilled the first qualification in order to go back home, back to Godhead. That is the first qualification, eagerness to hear. Not that, why are you bothering me? You must be eager. Yes, what is the conclusion? Tell me, more. Like that, like a materialist. He wants as much money as possible. We're all materialists, right? If I give you money, you will not refuse. We all money, as much as possible. Money, right? So a pure devotee or a sincere devotee, he's thinking as much Krishna Katha as possible. Let me hear as much as possible. From a bona fide source. So now we have a bona fide source here, Srila Prabhupada. Ocean of Vani. So we must take advantage. That is the first qualification. I do not say, Prabhupada writes this in the Bhagavatam, in the purport. The neophyte devotees, they don't want to hear anything. They're more attached to material profit than spiritual benefit. This is the definition of a neophyte devotee, Kanishta Adhikari. He wants to make business with Krishna. I want this, I want that. And he wants to stay here because he doesn't understand that this material world is a miserable place. The Bhagavatam says in the 10th canto, the shloka is quoted here, that this is a place where there's a danger at every step of life. At any moment we can die. Any moment. Don't think that, I'm not old enough, I cannot die. You can get into a car crash, you can die in a plane crash, you can get some disease, some cancer, some COVID or whatever they call it. You can be attacked. Here in London, very favorite pastime of young youth. They stab people. They take a machete, they chop off your head or something like that. Very nice. They don't ask, how old are you? They just chop you. You're dead. That's it, finished. So at any moment we can be dead. What is the use of these plans? Why should we make all these plans? Of course, some plan we have to do. We're living in a material world. But don't make it the alpha omega of your life. Your plans are not so important. The real plan is, how do I go back home, back to Godhead? And the condition is, as I said, the eagerness to hear Krishna Katha. Less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities. See, why are we so much engaged in nonsense activities, working hard, this, that, so many fruitive activities? Because we think that we can control this world. I mentioned this before, why people are so much after money. Because through money you can control so many things. Right? If I give you $1 billion, then probably you'll be even thinking, and I'd say, kill your mother. Maybe the thought will even come, maybe I could do it. Money has so much degrading power. Why these politicians? Why they're so corrupted? Because the mafia people, they come, they give 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. No, I will not do it. 10 million? Oh, I will do it. What is your price? Everyone has his price. There's a saying like that. Everyone has his price. Money can corrupt. Of course, if someone wants to bribe Srila Prabhupada, he kicks on the face. And that's why he's the bona fide spiritual master. He kicks on the face. He's liberated. He doesn't need anything material. But in our position, we're very much attracted to money because money gives us power, so-called, and we can control the world to a certain extent. Actually, we never control. Just like these lottery winners, those who win the lottery. It is 99% of the cases they squander all the money within first 5 years or 1 year or 2 years. Right? They think that, oh, I have money I can control. No, the money will control you. You will be forced to enjoy some nonsense because of the influence of money. The Kali actually has taken shelter of gold, money, to create enmity and hypocrisy in this age of Kali. The personality of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit said that you get out of this, get out of my kingdom. Go and take shelter of illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. So Kali was dissatisfied because there was no such a thing in Maharaj Parikshit's kingdom. These sinful activities were absent, completely absent. So then Maharaj Parikshit said, okay, take shelter of gold. Because whatever is gold, there will be all these sinful activities. And then we can see. So that's why people are after money. We want to take the money, as Prabhupada says, we take the Sita, Lakshmi, as the energy of Krishna. We take Lakshmi from Ravan. We are all Ravans. So the Lakshmi must be taken from Ravan and given to Lord Ramachandra, Krishna. This is what we're doing. This is very important. How you use your money. If you use it for sense gratification, it will be the cause of your degradation. Actually, the Shudras are not given any money in the Vedic society because it is understood that the Shudras, they cannot use the money properly. The money should be given to the Brahmanas. Why? Because the Brahmanas, they don't exploit the money. They use the money for the benefit of the whole society. The Brahmana always keeps himself in a poverty-stricken condition. Sometimes, our friends, they suggest when we ask for donation, they say, well, why don't you get a job? Maybe you can do business. Maybe you can do that, and so on and so on. But this is not the purpose of our association here. We want to keep ourselves always in a poverty-stricken condition and depend on Krishna. See, as soon as you have money, then you depend on money. If you're always in a poverty-stricken condition, then you can always perceive the hand of Krishna, how He's protecting you. Your relationship becomes more intimate. Just like Prabhupada says, a small child, because he's more dependent on the parent is more affectionate. Similarly, those who are surrendered devotees, Krishna takes special care of them. And their relationship is especially sweet and intimate. Right? So the money should be given to the Brahmanas. We do not know how to spend money properly in our society. You can see what people are buying. I have seen this, what is it called? Twitch. There's a website, Twitch. The gamers, right? They play computer games. And people are giving them donations. They're playing the computer game, right? And they millions of dollars. How foolish this is. What a squandering of money. And when we ask, please, can you give donation for Krishna Conscious Temple? They say, oh, why should I donate for such a nonsense? Let me nicely support the Twitchers so I can have a nice twitch in my eye from playing so many computer games. I don't know, maybe that's why they chose this name. That you play so much the computer game that your eyes start to twitch. You see? So they pay. Or they have the eating YouTube channels. People eat. And the other people, they give donations. $100,000. Please eat very nicely. Just see what a degradation. So this shows you people don't know how to spend money. And in so many different ways, we are wasting our money. So money should be used for Krishna. And we should not be ashamed to ask. Yes, please give. Give to Krishna consciousness movement. This is required. Very agitating for me when I hear this on book distribution. People say, you are spiritual. Why are you asking money? You're supposed to be spiritual. Their idea of spiritual is that you should kill yourself. Without money, how you can go on in this society? If I go to the shop and I say, give me milk, give me this, give me that, for free because I'm spiritual, they're going to kick on your face. Right? They're going to call police. Some crazy person. So they say, oh, you're spiritual, you should give the books for free. You should not ask any donation. You should just die. So nonsense. They don't understand what spiritual means. Everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Even me asking you the money, that is also spiritual. If the purpose is Krishna. If the purpose is sense gratification, then even your so-called spiritual life is material. There's so many people like that. Spiritual and material is changed according to the direction of the spiritual master. If we follow the spiritual master, then our Krishna conscious activities are spiritual. If we reject the spiritual master, we can do the same thing. It is no longer spiritual, it is material. Because the purpose is not to please Krishna. It's to please our sense gratification, our senses. So, this is the problem. People don't understand. Oh, what a dangerous place this is. They can be dead at any moment. That's why we should very strongly preach this Krishna consciousness without any compromise and help them. This is the desire of a devotee. He doesn't have any desire, but still he has a desire. How to benefit others. Not by opening hospitals and this nonsense philanthropy. How to give them Krishna consciousness. That is a real philanthropy. We should train others in the practice of sadhana bhakti. This is real help. If you feed them, if you clothe them, if you help them with their health, that is of course nice. No one can deny. But it doesn't help the soul. It doesn't solve the problem at the root. So if you make one devotee and then devotee goes back to Godhead, you automatically go back to Godhead. We see the example with Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Suniti or something like that she was called. She was also, when Dhruva Maharaj was going back to Godhead, the Vishnurutas, they came to pick him up in a Vaikuntha airplane. So he became concerned, oh, where's my mother? I also want my mother. And then he saw his mother was already going with another Vaikuntha planet. She was already going back to Godhead. Because she was Dhruva Maharaj, Shiksha Guru. She instructed him how to approach the Diksha Guru. That is the real Shiksha Guru. Is taking you to the Diksha Guru. Narada Muni was his Diksha Guru. He initiated him with the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So because she pointed him at the right direction, she was also liberated. So this is the process. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes?
But this thing that appeared to only liberate, I don't know how many generations back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, let's say that my mother is materialistic. Theoretically, I become a pure devotee, and although she still has material desires, wants to enjoy this world, doesn't want to return home. But why then is by my endeavor she liberated? Because she still has the contrary desires.
Mm-hmm. Well, liberated, Prabhupada, they were asking Prabhupada, what does it mean liberated? And Prabhupada says that they will get the opportunity to become devotees. It's called Agyata Sukriti. Like Sukriti is the spiritual credit you get for whatever you do in devotional service, you get spiritual credit. So your mom might not know exactly. See, all these material desires are due to ignorance. So everything is a question of knowledge. So your mom might not know all the details, but because she has rendered service, Krishna takes that into consideration. You see? And then she will get the opportunity to understand more and more and more. Krishna is helping out.
Even if she's inimical to Krishna consciousness, like that she...
Well, what is that inimical? If she...
That she tries to counter my activities in Krishna consciousness, like wants to...
But she's supporting at the same time. See, Krishna is so tricky that he has engaged your mom to support you also. She's thinking, I'm supporting my son, but she's supporting a devotee that she doesn't understand. That's what I'm saying, that she might not understand all the details, but what actually she's doing, she's supporting a devotee. So Krishna takes that, oh, very good. And that's why she gets the benefit.
Doesn't even support her son, like that she's like, he's not my son because he's in the cult.
But she already done the service.
By doing birth.
Whatever service you do for Krishna is never lost. Krishna will never forget that service. So Prabhupada, they were asking Prabhupada, what about these parents? Prabhupada said that the parents, they must be good because the devotees, their children have become devotees. So the parents must be good. This is just on the surface, some misunderstanding, some little agitation, this and that. It's just simply on the surface, but that will go. Ultimately, it will go away, and she'll become a devotee herself. Yeah, very nice. That's why to be a parent is not a joke, it's a great responsibility. You get a great credit. If the child becomes a devotee, you get great credit. But if the child doesn't become a devotee, then you get punished. It's the duty of the parents to, raise the child in Krishna consciousness. So she has done the job. Somehow or other, we might not understand all the intricacies, how it came about, but she has done a wonderful job. Now Davaji is here chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, any other questions?
Just to clarify, the Mahatma Pradakshika Guru, he also get like Almighty Godhead?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Purport mentioned about the Goswamis, how they were taking only a spoon of butter, cup of milk, and then you said that it is not the food that nourishes the body, it is the soul. Soul's presence.
No. The body is living because of the soul.
Okay.
Yeah, the food is required for the body.
Sorry, that was my misunderstanding.
But if you check Hiranyakashipu, he was just a skeleton. And he was not even a devotee. Through his practice, sadhana, he could maintain the soul, keep the soul in that skeleton body. So that makes you wonder, what is this food? What is actually food?
But he wasn't nourished. He was just a skeleton.
He was bones, but he was still alive.
But still, he was still alive.
Yeah.
Then Lord Brahma came, he revived his body, flesh.
Wow.
Anyway, we don't have to do such an austerity. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we can take sumptuous prasadam and many people they thinking, why should I surrender? If I surrender to Krishna, how will I eat? See, that's why we have to preach also this. It is not required to worry about the food. Now you told me, right, that so many plants are growing widely, you can eat.
Yes.
You survive somehow or other.
If you know.
So many eatable plants. Yeah, you must know, of course. You must know. There's so many eatable plants growing. So at the time of emergency, right, you take some grass, whatever, to save your life. What's the problem?
You can fast also.
Yeah, but suppose you can't fast, then yeah. All right. Or you should put the panel, Prabhu, when you do the offering. Vaidhi Bhakti. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Matajis. If you have any questions, you message me. As leaving the questions in the comments makes it very difficult to access. So you are always welcome to message me personally if you have any more questions or comments. I'll be very happy to engage in discussion with you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Guru Premanandi Hare Namo Hare Krishna Ellen, Hari Bol.